cast your mind back to the late 1980s, early 1990s, and you may remember Nintendo came out with a Game Boy, which is pretty well the best-selling handheld clicky console thing of all time. It's got a little LCD screen, it's black and green, or black and white, and it's a very nice thing, and this one is mine. It's from 1989, and it has survived pretty well. You've got a D-pad, you've got two buttons, you've got start and select, and you've got a headphone jack, and a power jack, and a contrast button, and a volume button, and a system link thing, and a cartridge slot, and it's all very nice. And I have played this thing absolutely to death over the years, hence the slightly yellow condition of it. But the Game Boy has survived pretty well. Even now, there are some new titles coming out for it. We had a little look at Quest Arrest a while ago, which is excellent. But today we shall have a look at something a bit weird. This thing. So, Super 50 in 1B. And immediately, there's something a little off with this cartridge. And I don't mean that it's a Chinese knockoff. What I mean is this big old button here. So, what this big old button does is resets it. On this cartridge there are 50 games which are just ROMs for popular titles. This is in no way licensed, it just says game up at the top. And you see these kind of things a lot on Chinese auction sites and AliExpress and eBay every now and then. This thing doesn't seem to exist. I can't find a single piece of information on this design that has a button on it at all anywhere. And what this does is resets the cartridge in such a way that it shorts out the Game Boy. So I can only assume there is some sort of massive capacitor in here, and I'll tell you for why. When you're running this and you press the reset button, the whole thing gets what can only be described as dangerously hot. Which is a good giggle. So let's have a look at the cartridge, and then maybe we'll open it up and see what's in it. Excuse the slightly weird camera height today, but we've got to actually be able to see this thing. Let's fiddle with the contrast. Right. Yeah, so I'm going to be playing this mostly through the viewfinder. What have we got? 50 in 1. Press A to run, press B for next page. Tetris, Mario Land, Pinball, blah blah blah. What have we got? Let's play some Tetris. Come on, let's have some Tetris. So the contrast values are different for specific titles. Yep, this is Tetris. Come on. Do 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 do. Yep, this is indeed Tetris. I can confirm. So, if we flip the Game Boy over and we press this button on the back, it shorts the whole thing out and resets it. Let's fiddle with the contrast again. So, yeah, that's already starting to get good and warm. And if we do that another few times, it genuinely feels like you can't touch it or you will get burned. Let's have a look what else we've got on this cartridge. Solomon's Club, Shinji, Shinkin Joe, Pac-Man, Mahjong Clacks. Oh, I love Clacks. It's such a weird game. Okay, so if you don't know what Clacks is, it's kind of like Tetris and Columns and some sort of weird brick game all in one, and the bricks come flying down a conveyor belt at you and you have to stack them up, and you can hold some or not hold some, and there's a very strange Japanese lady doing the voiceover. It's pretty good. The Game Boy version is not that good. I seem to remember the Atari Jaguar one is particularly good. Space Invaders, not Atari Jaguar, Atari Lynx version is particularly good. Space Invaders, Pitman, Snake, just the one. What else we got? Penguin Land, Hong Kong, Pipe Dream, Ishido, Japan version. Let's play that. Fiddle with the contrast again. I'm sure there was maybe a Commodore 64 version of this. Field pattern. Game type A. Yes. Some sort of mahjong thing. Fair enough. This is not what I'm thinking of. Oh, I'm thinking of Ikidu IK Plus is what I'm thinking of, which isn't this at all. This is a mahjong thing. So let's reset it again. Shorts out the console, resets the whole thing. Very, very strange indeed. Go on, let's play one more. Let's play 66 Pinball. Ooh, this is all in some sort of foreign language. Wanny one player. Okay. Yep, this is indeed a pinball game, and you can't see the pinball at all. So ghosting is a real problem with the old Game Boy screens. Drag that down, loose the ball. Come on. This actually doesn't look too bad through the viewfinder, but it's completely unplayable through the unit itself. Anyway, reset. And we're back to the Nintendo logo. Okay, so let's turn this off and have a little look what's on it. This cartridge, incidentally, was provided to me by Tom's Retro Games, by way of Sawthumb Retro Games. We did a time capsule from them a little while ago, which was pretty good. I'll put a link to Tom's Instagram in the description box. See if we can get this thing open. It does not want to come apart. There we go. Okay, so there is no massive capacitor in this, which is interesting, just some chips. Okay, right. So all this button appears to do is short out some of these contacts up here, which doesn't really explain why the whole thing gets so hot. Very, very weird. So that's it's on there, and when you depress the little button, it just puts the thing across the whole lot. Very weird. Anyway, this is not a design of cartridge that I've ever seen before, and I can't find any information online about it whatsoever, which is very odd. Can we get it out of the housing? It doesn't want to come. Might be glued in on the other side. Yeah. Well, that's certainly not what I was expecting, but I suppose that's okay. Get this button back in, get it back together, and see if it still works. Yeah, so generally these, to reset them, you just have to turn the Game Boy off and on again. And indeed, if you put this in a Game Boy Color, or any other sort of Game Boy, it doesn't reset. Only seems to work on original DMG models. Which is, you know, a bit of fun. It's why I was expecting there to be some sort of massive capacitor in here. And I don't understand why this gets so hot. Seriously, it's already really, really warm. Like, press this a few times and it gets to about, I don't know, 50, 60 degrees. Kind of too hot to put your fingers on. How strange. Perhaps it just draws a load of power from the batteries and then shorts itself out. Anyway, enough of that. Right, time to commit this to the bin of things we shall never use again, because I do like my Game Boy, and I don't want a big fire.
Subscribe for more videos.